Hi everyone, some gamer dude here. So I'll be honest with you, I had nothing planned this week. I really did not know what to do. But thankfully, some good news came out the last couple of days. And I could talk about that for this week's video. I do have a small video planned for next week. But because a lot of my own personal things are taking precedence, the channel's just kind of hard to fit in. So let's talk about Gate Ruler. Gate Ruler I reviewed early this year. It is the spiritual successor to Buddy Fight in many ways. It holds up this. You can play different games via Gate Ruler. I still don't think it's executed particularly well. But as a Buddy Fight successor, I think it vastly outshines Buddy Fight. I think it is a much better game. And I've heard nothing but positive things about how the development has gone in regards to set 2 and 3. There's some hiccups here and there. The Japanese release was a bit dodgy for set 1. The second set of starter decks had some issues in regards to the content, but everything settled itself out. Unfortunately, Akita, the lead designer / creator and now owner, he said some things he shouldn't have in regards to Buddy Fight, because he used to work at Bushiroad, and Bushiroad did not like some of the things he said. They brought litigations against him, and because of that, he had to step down from Gate Ruler, at least the development side. And that left a lot of people really, really upset. Set 2 and 3 did not sell as well. It's largely attributed to this because a lot of the community is interested in Akita's Gate Ruler. They're not interested in Gate Ruler. I'm pretty sure that makes sense to most people. They're interested in this specific person working on it, not the game itself, by itself. So, with him gone, a lot of people were very concerned. They were very scared, and they thought, let's not invest much more. This is clearly going to go badly. Thankfully, that's not going to be the case. So let's just get started in the actual news today. I'm only going to be reading parts of it because I'm not really interested in the set 4 stuff. It doesn't really pertain to what I want to talk about today. So, set 4 news and Akiras Returns. Today, the Japanese Gate Ruler website dropped a big announcement in regards to set 4, as well announcing Akita's return to the development team. So here we go. Akita's situation. Akita has apologized to Dayu, that's the company that makes Gate Ruler, it's his company. Daiko Publishing prints it, to my knowledge, and I Spy, which is a shell company for Daiko Publishing, does the distribution in America, in English in general, I think, for the inconveniences and harm made to them and to the game. At the same time, a person who has made a lot of slanderous remarks to Akita and Gate Ruler has apologized too. The conflict is resolved. Akita will make a public apology soon. I'm pretty sure the inconveniences and harm to the game is in regards to what transpired with Bushiroad. But there are also some other things regarding Akita that I won't really go into, but it's a whole thing. Point 2, editor's note. The second point was about the new team that was brought in to continue development on Gate Ruler. However, at the moment there are contradictory accounts on what exactly happened with the second team, and we will not be reporting on it, at least until the situation has been clarified. Yeah, I have some inkling I know what this is actually about, and because of what I've been told by Hunter Search privately, if it is what I think it is a good thing if the second team is gone. Pretty sure I'm confident on where they came from, and you do not want them running a game. After Akita left, Dayu was receiving a lot of messages asking for the return of Akita, or at least let him do the world built setting / lore. A lot of people were saying they were playing Gate Ruler because it was Akita's game. That's what I was saying earlier. People were interested in Akita's Gate Ruler. They weren't interested in Gate Ruler itself. And this is what happened. More to that, Set 2 and Set 3 sales dropped drastically. Less shops were carrying Gate Ruler and community engagement lowered. Dayu believes one of the key reasons to that is Akita leaving the project. So Daiyu decided to bring Akita back, believing that it is going to be better for the game this way. Daiyu understands the consequences of this decision. Truth be told, I don't think there are consequences. I know that might go, huh? I don't think there are. The game is basically DOA in Japan. It's never really done well. The Japanese were like, we're going to go back to what we're doing. Because Buddy Fight was always regional, and from my understanding, it was a little bit more popular outside of Japan. Well, not outside of Japan, I should say. It was dead on arrival in Australia too. I should say America. A lot of the popularity of the game is in America. They don't care about all of the stuff with Buddy Fight, Bushiroad. They don't care about all of the stuff in regards to Akita's past. They just care about Gate Ruler. They just care about Akita working on Gate Ruler. So I don't think there is a consequence of this. I think it's all upsides. Akita was receiving medical treatment and he is now stable. That's good for him. Glad to hear it. And Set 4 is fully finished and will be released eventually, even if there is a delay. I could imagine there is a delay with everything going on. Grand Prix will come back. Create a name for a card. Create a card setting will be held again. Now this is good. The motto for this period is bring back the heat that Set 1 had. They want to try to revive the momentum that Set 1 had. Hey, that feels different from I Spy and Force of Will, doesn't it? Actual effort in trying to make the game better. Trying to get it out there. Jeez. Really admirable, isn't it? It feels so different. But I believe that's because Akita, Gate Ruler Akita, genuinely cares about Gate Ruler. And he knows how much people that love it do genuinely love it. I Spy doesn't have that type of love for Force of Will. I can tell you that for certain. I know a few other things that people have shared with me that have been in there. So, following this, Akita posted an apology tweet. Here we go. He is apologising for the events in August, inconveniences caused by him to his supporters and Gate Ruler players, and that he didn't apologise immediately. He was diagnosed with depression even before those events, and after 4 months of treatment, support of people around him, and refraining from any social activity, he was able to recover. I can tell you straight up, I know exactly how that feels. I've had an episode recently where I didn't get out of bed for a while. I was just stuck there and just had to kind of get over everything. It's not fun. There's a lot of pressures from a lot of places. I think that's regardless of what you do, but this type of project is really hard. And was able to find courage to apologise. He is grateful to everyone who was sending him messages of support. I'm glad he got over it. As I said, it's not fun. 4 months is quite a while. I think he had it pretty bad. Harder than I think most of us that just get pretty darn blue could imagine. He doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes he did in the past, so for now he is going to be very formal on Twitter, in contrast to him being very informal before. He will abstain from replies and will set other restrictions. Same with his publicity in other places. He's sorry for acting the way he was, ignoring his position, which is a very, very good thing, self-awareness. Don't repeat the mistakes. That's personal growth. That's always good to see in anyone. Addressing questions. 1. In August, Akita was heard quarrelling harshly with a person in Discord, whose name is Commander Y. As it appeared, the situation was greatly misunderstood, as Commander Y is a friend of Akita, and their quarrel was a normal casual friend talk. The other person who apologised earlier today simply heard the recording of the quarrel, misunderstood it, and presented it in the wrong way. The situation is now resolved. Good. Addressing the questions. 2. There was a misunderstanding in Gate Ruler trademarks. 2 years ago, before Gate Ruler was announced, Gate Ruler trademark was registered by Akita. There were some paperwork difficulties, and that's why the Japanese trademark appeared later than the English one. Originally, copyrights of Gate Ruler were registered under Akita's name, but Akita was giving away the right for Gate Ruler to Dayu for as long as Dayu is selling Gate Ruler products. If Dayu decides to stop selling Gate Ruler, the right will be transferred back to Akita. About Dayu as a company, now this is very, very interesting. Akita has 50% of Dayu stocks. Originally, Dayu was established 50% by Akita and 50% by Daiko Publishing, the mother company of I Spy, who makes Force of Will. Well, to be more correct, I Spy is a shell company of Daiko Publishing. Daiko Publishing is the producer of Force of Will. Daiko Publishing explains all the reused assets. Because, hey, 50% say they'd want to cut as many costs as possible. That is what it is. Still, Akita is not making profit off of Gate Ruler, his work on the game, or getting authors' interests. He is doing everything completely by his own will, and on the contrary continues to invest in the game more of his own. He is doing that because Gate Ruler is the purpose of his life, and all he wants is that people enjoy his game. That is actually true for a lot of startup games. They don't profit immediately. Even if you look like you're making a profit early on, it gets invested into the next set. I can tell you from my own work, the vast majority of costs for proper set 1 will have to be covered from the Kickstarter, for the profits from the Kickstarter of the set 0. Most games don't profit, and you really have to get a decent amount of momentum and a decent length of time existing to get into a profitable situation. It is unfortunately what it is. Games are not cheap to produce. If you're not the big 3, plus the 2, Bandai Games and Vanguard, it's hard to sell a volume in the West where you will profit massively. I'm pretty sure that now includes Flesh and Blood, but yeah, it is what it is. This is why getting investors is kind of important. I mean in regards to investing money into producing the product, not purchasing the product. But as soon as you get those investors, you're beholden to them, which means you lose a lot of creative control, and they can force you out, as happened to Akita, as happened to IG. It's just is what it is. Since Akita owns 50% of Dayu's stocks and has a lot of power on Gate Ruler's creative development, he has no reasons to take over the game, as it was assumed before after trademark has popped out on the internet. Plus, he would have no power to do that, as Daiko Printing still has 50% of stocks and would object to the takeover. But in order to resolve the misunderstanding, Akita has transferred his rights over Gate Ruler's trademark to Dayu in full and free of charge. This is all. Akita is once again very sorry for the situations he caused due to his rash actions and not acting accordingly to his position. Now, there's more on this. We'll have to get up to the next article. So, today, the official website published a new article talking about plans for the future of the game beyond Set 4. The main points are, Gate Ruler will continue into the 5th set and beyond. Good. It has been decided that countermeasures for antis, that's the group that follow Akita and milk him for lols, are necessary, but it will be left to a professional. The English version is doing well. The Chinese version is planned to be released in 2022. The previous management had planned to discontinue Gate Ruler after the 4th set, with the biggest reasoning being the fire surrounding Gate Ruler is not just coherent criticism, but also slanderous defamation, which piggybacks off of honest users with real criticisms. In such a situation, it is difficult to respond in good faith, and so there is no expectations of an increase in sales in Japan. Now, I'm more curious that the fourth set was even going to be released because the quiet happened after set 3. Everything just went dead bar a few promos. It really did look like the game was cancelled with its third set. But I'm happy for it. It's going to continue. As I said, I'm not surprised the English version is the one doing well. Hopefully because Chinese-speaking regions have no attachment to the whole Bushiroad locale thing. It doesn't affect them either. In order to prevent the cancellation, Akita bought back the remaining 50% of shares for Dayu from Daiko Printing. This is what I meant. There's more to this. And the game will now continue to be produced into its 5th set and beyond. While Dayu will continue to listen to community feedback, as Akita is now both the game creator and 100% owner, they will not be able to listen to feedback that says to get rid of Akita. Yes, get rid of the owner. That's going to happen. But I'm very, very happy for him that he bought back the entire thing. It was the right thing to do from his perspective, from the community's perspective. I'd hate to know how much he paid, but to be quite honest, if the game was looking to be cancelled, they probably were just happy for the cash injection. They were happy to get anything for it because it was just going to become a dead IP. Truth be told, I could imagine if Gate Roller had died, a lot of the art would have just been reused in Force of Will. A lot of art that was meant for Architect, the Force of Will co-game that never was, has been reused between Gate Ruler and I believe it's Alice Cluster set for Prologue of Ataraxia, I think it is. I believe all the art was reused between the two of them. So I am very, very happy for him. It is the Chad move to do. Great props to that. Actually, quite honest, I've got people in the Discord saying they genuinely want to support him because of doing this. It builds a lot of good faith that he won't let it die. He won't let any of these people kill it. And everything we saw from the last article and this one, he's trying to help it grow. I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done there. There's YouTubers that need to be schmoozed. Unfortunately, that's what you have to do. I doubt very much many of you guys know how much you have to give YouTubers to make them say nice things about your games. I'm just saying it's a bit much. But unfortunately, that is what marketing is now. That's what you have to do. I'm pretty sure the costs all up end up the same as old school commercials anyway. So there's that. I have to do some more research into it, but we'll see. In regards to countermeasures for antis, can we just say trolls? Dayu has gotten in contact with a specialised law firm to handle investigation and response work. They do not intend to bring such situations into legal proceedings suddenly and immediately, but to inquire into the intent, so as to not catch honest users in the crossfire. Very smart. And only proceed further in the case of no response or dishonest behaviour. The company will need to shrink, I think that was obvious, and will become an indie creator, though it was like that at the start too. And I think many small games just have to. And honestly, I think the art will likely suffer because of this. Cuts will have to be made to keep it. I think they'll probably be in a situation where they'll look at their cards, go, which ones are the more important ones? Which ones do we see getting played a lot? Which ones are our star cards? Spend more money on them. Go, which ones are, kind of okay, but kind of fillery. I mean, it's got space, but it's not great. And go, well, we can budget less art to that. We don't see it being played very much. Just saying. Akita will return to being at the forefront of public relations, like at the beginning, but he says it will be with improvements. Good. Gate Roller is doing well overseas, and in fact the English version is performing several times better than the Japanese version. No shit, as I explained earlier. Buddy Fight was always very regional. America liked it a lot more than other regions. And, well, Japan doesn't really care for Akita. Because of that, the English version will naturally continue, and the Chinese version will be released in early 2022. To be quite honest, I actually thought the Chinese version was already out. In fact, Gate Ruler would be able to continue off of just the overseas sales, and the Japanese version isn't strictly necessary, because no one plays it. But since Akita wants to give back to the Japanese TCG community that raised him, and because he can't speak English and needs a Japanese version to be able to play with Japanese players, the Japanese version will continue. The hope is that if Gate Ruler can continue as an indie for a few years, it might be able to move past the current fire and become big one day. Define big. I think it definitely has potential for growth. I think a lot of work would be needed to get it up to a position where we consider it big. I think modest. A really good size for an indie game. A bit lower than Vanguard, but not massively so. Vanguard in the States, I guess, would be pretty much the goal I would try to achieve. I think that's where you want to hit. I don't think you're going to be one of the big three. I don't think you're going to be either of the Bandai games. I don't think you're going to be even Flesh and Blood. I'm just trying to remain realistic here. I think you have to set your goals for something you can achieve, and if you achieve that, you set a new goal. You go for the top, but every goal has to be achievable on the ladder. That's just about the new art. Actually, I do want to mention this is new art for an established Forceful character. It's Alice in Wonderverse, which I think is actually a really cool art. I actually really like that one. I'm actually curious what rarity it would be, because I actually wouldn't want a copy. I like it. And I actually like this Black Cat Seath too. I think that is neat. So that's all I really have to say about Gate Ruler today. I think that things are looking up for it. I think they can only go up. But I'm just glad to see something go right for a change, especially with how bad Forceful has gone in the last set. If you don't know, because I've been avoiding talking about it, Forceful's current set has 2 first turn kills in just its own cards. It's real bad. It's so bad we just stopped buying it. And I know a few other people that have this doesn't do it for me anymore. It's not the same game. All the meats, the fun of it, the things I enjoyed, they're gone. So again, Gate Ruler making those positive changes, trying to preserve what it does well, keep itself on track, and trying to help itself grow. And Akita doing everything right is just a really nice thing to see. You don't see this enough. And honestly, what Akita's done in the last 2 days is more than I Spy's ever done. Let's just be honest about it. I think in many ways a great disservice was done to Gate Ruler and Akita by not telling a bunch of people to go shove it, including Bushiroad, mind you, and just keeping on track, ignoring Japan, looking at those initial sales figures of where it's doing well, and just ignoring people that just want to be jerks. Am I going to say that Akita did the right thing breaking NDA, a non-disclosure agreement? No. He was under an agreement. He should have stuck to it. But he did say things we already all knew. Bushiroad pushes broken cards for sales. I mean, who didn't know that? It's the same crap I Spy does. And that's because, well, a very prominent person in I Spy is ex-Bushiroad staff. But that's all I really have to say for today. Again, I'm just happy to talk about something positive. Next week, we're going to be talking about a quote from a card designer that I find really, really prominent and just want to share with you guys. Then I think we'll be talking about my work again, because we're getting really close, guys. Website's probably coming up in the second half of January, early February. It's 50% done now. I'm really excited. And I've got a lot of positive news to tell you guys. Got some worrisome things, but we'll cross those bridges when we get there. Till next time, this has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.